Good morning, students. Today we are going to study about the retrosynthesis introduction and basic principles in synthesis of aromatic compounds. Introduction: a logical approach for designing organic synthesis which involves breaking down of the target molecule into available starting materials by imaginary breaking of bonds called as disconnection or by functional group interconversion FGI is known as disconnection approach. Next, we're going to study about some terminologies. First one is the retrosynthetic arrow. It is commonly used to indicate a reaction return backwards. The actual reaction is in reverse. So now below you can see the arrow mark. That is two lines with a single headed arrow, which is called as a retrosynthetic arrow. So wherever you come across this kind of arrow, it means to say that the material or this reaction is taking place in the reverse way or the reverse direction. So this is important to denote the retrosynthesis for all the retrosynthetic compounds. Next, we will study about target molecule. Target molecule is also abbreviated as TM. So it is the molecule to be synthesized. So whenever you see a TM below a compound, it means to say that it is the target molecule, and we have to conduct the retrosynthesis for this molecule and write down the synthesis. The next terminology is synthon. Synthon are idealized fragments, usually cations and anions, resulting from a disconnection. So here I have taken one example, that is benzyl cyclohexanone. So here the red wavy line which you can see is the disconnection, means we are disconnecting between the C and C bond. There is a disconnection is between cyclohexanone and the benzyl group. So when we disconnect in such a way, the next step is going to be to write down the retrosynthetic arrow. So the retrosynthetic arrow is necessary to indicate that we are conducting the disconnection and we are writing the retrosynthesis for this particular target molecule. So now the next step is we are going to write down the fragments. So what are the fragments is, it is going to be the two separate individual cation and anion which are obtained from the disconnection. So here we have a cyclohexanone anion and we have the benzyl radical, that is a cation, benzyl cation. So these two are the fragments of disconnecting the target molecule. See now these are called as the synthons. We cannot use synthons as a starting material to obtain any target molecule. So these have to be further made into a suitable reagents which can be used as starting material to produce the target molecule. So now they are called as synthetic equivalents. Let us see the definition. A reagent carrying out the function of a synthon which cannot itself be used, often because it is too unstable. So this is the definition of synthetic equivalents. We cannot use synthon as the starting materials because they are too unstable and they are cations and anions which we do not usually get obtained as the product, right? So that's the reason why we have to convert these synthons to suitable reagents which are called as synthetic equivalents. Now coming back to that example. So now the synthetic equivalents for the cyclohexanone anion and benzyl cation will be cyclohexanone and benzyl bromide respectively. See, the negative charge on the cyclohexanone has to be neutralized by a suitable group or a substituent such that the negative charge is removed. So for this, the negative charge abstracts, that is the nucleophile abstracts a proton, hence we get the cyclohexanone, and cyclohexanone is a suitable reagent which can be used as starting material. Similarly for benzyl cation, we have to neutralize the positive charge. So how do we neutralize the positive charge is by when it is reacting with a halide ion X minus. X minus can be Br minus, Cl minus, etc. So here when Br minus attacks the electrophile, we obtain the benzyl bromide. So benzyl bromide and cyclohexanone are a suitable reagent, suitable starting material for the synthesis of the target molecule benzyl cyclohexanone. So this is the one example for synthon and synthetic equivalent. Let us see another example. So here I have taken phenyl acetic acid. So in phenyl acetic acid, again you can see the red line, right? So this red line is the disconnection. So disconnection, you can either represent it with a wavy line or you can represent it with a elongated X, which you will see in my next slides. So now the disconnection is between the benzyl group and the acid group. Now, when we disconnect it, the next step is going to be writing the retrosynthetic arrow, and then we are going to write down the synthon. So, what are the synthons for this target molecule is? One is the benzyl radical and second is the acid. Now, these are the synthons. Now, we have to write down their synthetic equivalent. See, for the benzyl radical, that is the benzyl cation, a suitable reagent is again going to be a benzyl bromide. Benzyl bromide is going to be a suitable reagent. That is the synthetic equivalent for the benzyl cation. And here we have COOH. See, COOH is always a weak acid. When you compare it with HCl and HNO3, etc. COOH is considered to be a weak acid. That is why what do we do is we convert, that is, there is a functional group interconversion of COOH to a nitrile group. Nitrile group is very easily, it can undergo acid hydrolysis or alkaline hydrolysis, and it can be interconverted to COOH easily. That's the reason why whenever you come across COOH as a synthon, we write down a suitable synthetic equivalent as nitrile in some examples. So in this example, we have given as nitrile as a FGI of COOH. Okay, so this is the synthetic equivalents and their synthons. So next we are going to study about synthons and synthetic equivalents. See, now here in these two charts, I have given some of the synthons and synthetic equivalents. This you can go through once, and also you can utilize this for the examples which you will be studying later on. Okay, see, this it is very much beneficial for all of you because every example is different, right? One example synthon is not going to be same as the another example synthon. So that's the reason why if you note down these synthons and synthetic equivalents, and if you make a chart, and if you just collect these synthons and synthetic equivalents and keep on going through this, it will definitely be of much use for you to write down any kind of problems relating to retrosynthesis. Next, let us start with the basic principles of synthesis of aromatic compounds, which involves the disconnections and FGI, that is functional group interconversion. So, example 1 is retrosynthesis and synthesis of benzocaine, which is a local anesthetic. So, benzocaine is also sold as Oragel in the pharmacist, okay? And benzocaine is an ethyl ester of para-aminobenzoic acid. Benzocaine is a benzoate ester having 4-aminobenzoic acid as the acid component and ethanol as the alcohol component. So now let us look at the analysis of benzocaine. See, in this slide, I have written down the overview of the retrosynthesis of benzocaine. But in exam, you can analyze it stepwise. Stepwise analysis will always give a clarity whenever you have to write down on retrosynthesis and synthesis of a particular target molecule. So first what we will do is we will start analyzing this target molecule stepwise. That is, we will write down the retrosynthesis in a stepwise manner. So analysis 1. In analysis 1, what are we disconnecting? We are disconnecting a carbonyl carbon and OTH group. So a disconnection between C and O. Understanding, right? There is a disconnection between C and O. See, here I have represented the disconnection with an elongated S. In Jagadamba textbook, the arrow is like this. I mean, the disconnection is represented in an elongated S, and also you can also use the wavered line also, as you saw in the first few slides. So both of it is correct, and any one of them you can use as the disconnection. Now, next step is going to be writing the retrosynthetic arrow. So above retrosynthetic arrow, we are going to denote the bond which is breaking. So here the C and O bond is disconnected. So above the retrosynthetic arrow we are writing as CO, and below that we are writing it as an ester, because it is the ester which is going to be produced later on in the synthesis, right? So that's why we are writing CO, below that we are writing the ester. So next, what are the synthons? So the synthons is going to be OET minus and the cation. So these two are the synthons. Now these are the synthons. So definitely we have to write down the synthetic equivalents. Agree, right? So the synthetic equivalents is going to be PABA, that is para amino benzoic acid, and ethanol, ETOH, are going to be the suitable synthetic equivalents for the above synthons. This is the analysis 1. Next, moving on to analysis 2. Now in analysis 2 we are having the PABA, para-amino benzoic acid, which can be further disconnected. So how are we going to disconnect? We are going to use the functional group interconversion of amine to nitro. See, nitro is a, when you interconvert amine to nitro, then nitro, how we can obtain nitro is by nitration. And nitration is a very simple and easy method. Nitration is a simple method which already we have studied in BSc's third semester. We have that as an experiment in the practicals, right? So it is so easily obtained. That is, nitrobenzene can easily be generated even in the laboratory. So that is the reason sorry, why we convert amine group, why we interconvert amine group to nitro group. So that is the first FGI. That is the first step which we are taking the analysis to. And the second would be the FGI, in functional group interconversion to methyl group. That is COOH we are interconverting to CH3. Again, why CH3 is because toluene is a suitable reagent, stable reagent, easily available in the market. So that's the reason why we interconvert the acid to methyl group, COOH to CH3 group. So this is the analysis 2. That is, there are two functional group interconversion taking place. Next, we are going to study the analysis 3. So in analysis 3, what we have is, we had a para-nitrotoluene, right? Para-nitrotoluene again can undergo disconnection. What is a disconnection? The disconnection is between NO2 and the benzene. That is disconnection between C and N. So that's why above the retrosynthetic arrow, we are writing it as CN, and below that, we are writing it as nitration, because the synthesis is going to be toluene undergoing nitration, giving rise to nitrobenzene. Sorry, nitrotoluene, okay? So we are writing CN above the retrosynthetic arrow. Below that, we are writing nitration, which is going to give us the toluene. So now, using toluene, we can easily write down the synthesis and reach to the target molecule. Now, let us look at the synthesis. So the synthesis goes this way. We have toluene, which on nitration with HNO3 and H2SO4 gives us para-nitrotoluene, which on oxidation with KMNO4 is giving us para-nitrobenzoic acid, which on reduction with hydrogen and palladium catalyst gives us para-amino benzoic acid, PABA, and further reaction with ethanol hydrolysis gives us the target molecule. That is the benzocaine. So I hope this example is clear. Now let us go to the second example, that is retrosynthesis and synthesis of Hawthorne blossom perfume. Hawthorne blossom perfume, that is the target molecule, is para-methoxyacetophenone. So para-methoxyacetophenone, we are disconnecting in a suitable manner to obtain the starting material, which can be used for the synthesis of the para-methoxyacetophenone. So let us look at the synthesis now, retrosynthesis. See, first is the disconnection between the benzene and the acyl group. So the pink line which you can see here is the disconnection that that's the first step which is involved in the retrosynthesis disconnection, right? So that is we are disconnecting benzene with the acyl group. So what are the synthons which are obtained? The synthons obtained is the anisole, carbanion, and we have the acyl cation. So anisole, carbanion and acyl cation are the synthons for the disconnection of the target molecule para-methoxyacetophenone. Next step would be writing down the suitable synthetic equivalents for the synthon. So the synthetic equivalent for anisole is methoxybenzene, and for the acyl cation is acetyl chloride. So these two are the synthetic equivalents for the synthons. Now when we react, now writing down the synthesis is going to be the methoxybenzene with the acetyl chloride in presence of AlCl3 is going to give us the target molecule. Target molecule is paramethoxyacetophenone. Now another question arises that why cannot we write down the other kind of disconnection wherein the benzene gets the positive charge whereas the acyl group gets the negative charge. So now this kind, when you look at the target molecule, we can easily make out that there is an C double bond O CH3 which is attached to the methoxybenzene, right? That means to say that it is an acyl group. So whenever an acyl group is linked to a benzene aromatic compound, then that always suitable reaction is going to be the Friedel-Crafts acylation. So for Friedel-Crafts acylation, we definitely need a nucleophilic benzene and an electrophilic acyl group. So that is the reason why we are writing the first path 1 and not choosing the path 2, because this is an example of an electrophilic aromatic substitution. So in electrophilic aromatic substitution, we know that the benzene is electron rich and we have an electrophile, either an alkyl halide or an acyl halide attacking the acyl halide reacting with a catalyst like AlCl3 and which further forms an electrophile and which attacks the benzene ring. So that is the reason why we are choosing the path 1 and not the path 2. So as I told, the synthesis is going to be the acetyl chloride with the methoxybenzene in presence of AlCl3 which is used as a catalyst, which is going to give us the target molecule paramethoxyacetophenone as the product. So this is the synthesis 2, retrosynthesis and synthesis of Havethorn-Brosm perfume. Next example, we are going to study about retrosynthesis and synthesis of BHT, that is butylated hydroxytoluene. Butylated hydroxytoluene is the target molecule and we have to synthesize, we have to do the retrosynthesis for this target molecule and also write down the synthesis. So here we have two tertiary butyl groups which are attached to the benzene ring. So that is, the tertiary butyl group is nothing but like an alkyl group, right? There are two alkyl groups which are attached to the benzene ring. So hence what is the next step is we can definitely write down the Friedel-Crafts alkylation for this retrosynthesis. So suitably, that is why we are going to disconnect those two alkyl groups. That is, we are going to disconnect the tertiary butyl groups on either side. The pink wavy lines is the disconnection between the alkyl groups with the benzene. So here when we disconnect, we are going to write down the retrosynthetic arrow, and above that we are going to write down CC bond. That is, the disconnection is between the C and C on either side of the benzene. So CC bond, and below that is the Friedel-Crafts alkylation, because we have the alkyl group which is going to attack the alkyl group, which is a cation which is going to attack the nucleophilic benzene. So now next is we are going to write down the synthons and the synthetic equivalents. See, you can always write down the synthetic equivalents directly without writing the synthon also. This method also you can adapt whenever you're writing these kind of problems in your examination. But for a better understanding, you can also write on the synthon and then write on the synthetic equivalent and then go ahead with the further analysis and the subsequent synthesis. So the choice is yours. You can directly write down the synthetic equivalents if you wish to, or else you can write down the synthons and then write down the synthetic equivalents and move ahead in the next process. So now here what do we have is, we have para-hydroxytoluene as the synthetic equivalent, and we have tertiary butyl cation. We have para-hydroxytoluene and tertiary butyl cation. See, the tertiary butyl cation can be that is, a synthon we can have a reagent for this. A suitable reagent is going to be the bromide ion attacking the electrophile. So when a bromide ion, that is Br minus, when Br minus attacks the electrophile, we are going to get, or a Cl minus attacks the electrophile, we are going to get a tertiary butyl chloride as the synthetic equivalent, and we are going to have para-hydroxytoluene as the synthetic equivalents. Now, after this, these are the synthetic equivalents. Now, let us write down the synthesis. The synthesis is going to be, first we have the para-hydroxytoluene when reacts with tertiary butyl chloride in presence of aluminum chloride as a catalyst is going to give us the target molecule butylated hydroxytoluene. There is another method of writing down this synthesis, that is we can take the alkene and the protic acid and we can also write down the target molecule. So there are two ways of writing down the synthesis for this target molecule. Okay, so these are the three examples for today. That is the basic principles for today, that is benzocaine, Hawthorne perfume and BHT. So we studied the retrosynthesis and also the synthesis for these compounds. Thank you very much. In my next slides, I will be teaching you about one group CX disconnection and two group CX disconnection and so on. Thank you very much.